Lyushina smiles as she kills the soldiers of the Phantom Legion. She says that she is glad that she followed Zeon as her master. Zeon says that they still need to push further forward. Lyushina tells Zeon that she would open up the path for him as she accumulates her blood mana and releases all of it at once, which clears their path forward. Lyushina tells her master to move ahead. Zeon rides the black horse and rushes towards the Phantom Legion. There is only one reason why Zeon made the demons summon the Phantom Legion and is running there himself. Zeon is doing this because this is the only way to obtain the Kronos' tool, and to be exact, someone with the coordinates to summon the Legion must directly engage in the eternal battle. This is the first condition that needs to be met in order to obtain the Kronos' tool. Zeon uses dark vision and orders the shadows made by Black Star fall to stop the arrows flying towards and take care of the rest. He summons Eclaxia and uses a new power named Black Dot. Zeon doesn't want to stop and orders the horse to keep going forward, as he will take care of the other nuisances. He uses an attack named Dark Coating Return. Some other entities try to stop Zeon, but he uses Black Flash. As he reaches near the boss, he extends Eclaxia's range by using the Black Star's aura. He jumps straight in front of the boss and deals a full force attack. Due to the clash between them, the knight's red sword scatters into pieces. The knight accumulates his aura to support the sword, while Zeon concentrates the Black Star into Eclaxia and uses Black Flash. The knight notices that Zeon is up in the sky, but by the time he notices, Zeon vanishes, leaving his dark aura behind. Zeon suddenly appears in front of the knight and tries to attack, but the knight blocks and deflects Zeon's attack. Zeon jumps backwards and attacks the knight one more time. The knight holds Zeon's sword with his hand, then leaves it as the knight decides to deal a counterattack. Zeon notices that the knight is going for a counterattack, so he decides to dodge the attack. The knight surprises Zeon by telling him that he won't lose to Zeon. The knight says that he has been looking forward to fighting Zeon. The knight says that he was looking forward to it because he thought that maybe, just maybe, his endlessly repeating punishment may end today. But he feels disappointed and asks Zeon why he is so weak. Zeon realizes that the gap between their basic skills is definitely big, and even when he amplified Black Star, the attack itself didn't work. Zeon says that there is only one way left to deal with this king of the Phantom Legion, as he again amplifies Black Star Fall's aura into Eclaxia, which creates a sudden burst of dark aura. On the other hand, the captain of the Ashen Lion Division, captain of the 5th Unit, Karen, together with the vice-captain of the 5th Unit, Paulo, followed Zeon and are now searching for Zeon's whereabouts. Karen tells Paulo that it's a shame that they are out here looking for the deposed prince. Paulo laughs and tells him to never mind that and enjoy the surrounding scenery. As they were talking, Karen gets shocked as he sees a huge barrier in front of them. Karen, the captain, orders his 5th unit of the Ashen Lion Division to approach this barrier first. Inside the barrier, both Zeon and the king tries to attack each other with their halved sword. As the king tries to swing his sword, he realizes his hand fall off along with his sword. Finally, Zeon is now using Lunar Eclipse. It is one of the ultimate amplifiers and one of the best reversal techniques that Zeon has, exploding all the Black Star that exist in his body in an instant, raising all his abilities beyond their limits due to that Zeon is currently at his peak. Zeon gets behind the king. The king notices and turns around, and Zeon strikes first. The king thinks that he blocked Zeon's attack for a brief moment, but he notices that Zeon's dark aura is overpowering his blue aura. Zeon tells the king that he has something that he wanted to ask. Zeon asks the king who is the weaker one now. On the other hand, the knights appointed by Princess Evelyn is struggling to break the barrier. The captain says that even when fighting giants, he didn't need to put in this much effort. The vice-captain conceives that Zeon is inside the barrier and thinks whether he is dead or not. Suddenly, the captain shouts at them to move aside because he has to try one more time and decides to focus all his power into one point. As a result, he successfully cracks the barrier. The vice-captain orders the soldier to focus their attacks in the crack regions before the barrier restores. They manage to break the barrier and enter the village. As they enter, they witness some monster they had never seen before and watch Prince Zeon fighting a knight. Zeon and the king fight vigorously, and the king finds it impossible to dodge Zeon's attacks. As the king decides to do something, Zeon reacts to it and tells the king that his cheap tricks will not work this time while swinging his sword. The king ducks and Zeon attacks the king's face with his elbow. Zeon is running out of time as he has only 1 minute left before the lunar eclipse disappears. The king wonders how could this happen so suddenly, because everything about this fight is different from before and got way above his level. The king uses his blue flame again while Zeon slides backwards. The king says that at first he determined Zeon was weak, but now he became a little expectant and says that Zeon is indeed worthy to be called the owner of the coordinates Chronos judgment, and at the same time, the savior who will save them from this hellish battlefield that repeats forever. The king says that if Zeon succeeds to withstand this attack too, he will truly acknowledge him. The king uses an attack named Black Flame Ocean, which can even pierce the sky. The captain who was watching the fight says that it's complete madness. Zeon thinks that there is about 5 seconds remaining from his lunar eclipse, so he has no other choice but to crush this attack head-on. The king of the Phantom Legion, who was stuck in an endless loop of battle, was waiting for the person to show up who will end his cursed fate. Zeon absorbs the king's mighty attack with his lunar eclipse. Zeon calls the king by his name, the Abyss. The Abyss thanks Zeon for this battle and for freeing them from their cursed fate. The Phantom Legion army was destroyed as per Zeon's plan, and he enters a portal to finish the next objective ahead. As he enters the portal, he meets an unknown person who asks whether the cursed army have met their demise. "Are you not going to ask who I am?" The person questions. Guardian is the only name which came to Zeon's mind because this person was regarded as the Guardian in the novel. The 5 questions? Where are they? Zeon questions. The Guardian asks Zeon how he already knows what is the reward for defeating the cursed army. The Guardian points at Zeon and tells him that he is not a hero. How did this happen? How can the destiny be changed? The Guardian wonders. According to the destiny, the hero should be the one to destroy the army and come here. A destiny? What do you mean by it? Zeon asks. The Guardian explains that all records of one's past, present, and future are their fortune. The time when a being exists in the world is their life. If you combine the two together, it becomes their destiny. Destiny is decided from the very start, so it can be tweaked slightly, but not changed. He says that the commonly used phrase that you decide your own destiny, it's all nonsense. So, originally, the hero defeated the cursed army and Zeon shouldn't be here right now. Destiny cannot be changed, these words repeat in the Guardian's mind. Zeon thinks whether the Guardian is referring to the novel when he is talking about destiny. The Guardian comes to a conclusion and says that all the things that is happening right now means there has been a variable in destiny, and for that to be possible, a transcendent being has to interfere. The Guardian looks at Zeon and gets astonished as he finds out that Zeon's destiny is not visible at all, as if he didn't even existed in this world. "Are you saying you won't give it to me?" Zeon asks. The Guardian replies that's not the point because just by coming here, Zeon is already deserving of that. The Guardian gives Zeon a bracelet. Chronos, the ancient deity, asked mankind 5 questions, which is known as Kronos' 5 questions and the mythical item whose power embodies them. Kronos' 5 questions. The 5 colored gems embedded in the bracelet are each a question. The power inherent within each is a natural disaster organ. More than that, the 5 colored gems are consumable and can be used only once each. It's an item fitting the name mythical. The Guardian explains the function of the bracelet to Zeon. He says that the question will be filled in when Zeon brings in the coordinates because, to begin with, the Phantom Army came from the power of the question. Before Zeon's departure, the Guardian says that he has one last question. "Who are you?" the Guardian asks. Zeon smiles and leaves without giving a proper answer. In the village, Karen is still in shock as he couldn't fathom what the hell happened here. He thinks that previously a sword of destruction created by the king of the Phantom Legion was crushed by Prince Zeon's single blow. How can this be possible? The captain wonders. He looks for Prince Zeon as he disappeared along with the king. "Are you here to kill my master as well? Are you master's enemy?" Lyoshina asks the captain in a deadly voice. The vice-captain replies saying no and tells Lyoshina that they are the knights sent by Her Royal Highness Evelyn to protect Prince Zeon. As they were talking, General Liam speaks up and says that Karen would never take on missions like assassinations. General Liam, why are you here? Is this really the place you came after retirement? The captain asks abruptly. Liam answers by saying yes, and he says that he didn't think that they would be fighting against such a huge army. Karen replies that he is glad seeing that General Liam is safe. What happened here? Can you explain it to me? Karen asks. Liam replies while pointing at Liushina that a phantom army appeared, and they were completely annihilated by this woman and Prince Xian. Karen replies that this woman and Prince Xian must be monsters to be able to fight such an army. In the meantime, Liushina turns as she looks for Xian and wonders where her master might be. Xian comes out from the portal. As he comes out, Prince Xian says that he needs some time to rest first. 5 days have passed since the army invasion. Prince Xian decides to leave the village. General Liam says that he would follow Xian as he made a promise. Prince Xian tells Liam to stay in the village for now. Xian looks at Liam and thinks that the purpose of coming out of the palace this time was to get Kronos's 5 questions along with his proof of succession. Liam is just a side benefit for him, and for now, it's good to have him, but it does not really matter if he doesn't. But of course later it might be different when there is a full-scale war with the demons. So Xian tells Liam that someday he would find Liam when he needs Liam's assistance. Liam replies that he won't refuse Xian's judgment and tells Xian that he would always be ready whenever Xian will need him. Xian feels like the seeds must be close to ripping, those seeds that he has sowed before he left the abandoned palace. So now it's time to harvest one of them. The news that the Phantom Legion disappeared reached the Information Guild of the Eye of the Moon. Aileen, manager of the Information Guild, asks the informant for the report on the Phantom Legion. The informant gives her the report and tells Aileen that it was submitted by the special intelligence agent, Neri, who followed Prince Xian, so there shouldn't be any mistake. According to the report, Prince Xian's party reached the village and summoned a barrier and the army not long after. By the time the barrier disappeared, the Phantom Legion had been annihilated. No one remained besides Prince Xian and his underling, a woman with red eyes, along with Liam Raynor, the Ghost King. The Ashen Lion Division also revealed themselves. After reading this news hasn't been revealed somewhere else yet, right? Aileen asks. The informant replies, saying yes. Aileen thinks that if this information leaks out, not only will it shake up the Imperial City, but also the whole capital. What about Prince Xian? Aileen asks. The informant says that he doesn't think Prince Xian will stop by this place, as he will presumably head straight to the Imperial City. Does Prince Xian want me to directly report to him at the Imperial Palace and convey the information to the members of the Assembly? Aileen thinks deeply. Lastly, the informant says that he has one more news, and the news is that a man who is believed to be a hero has shown up. Aileen asks the informant to elaborate. In the training ground, Xian is trying to increase the potency of his Black Star Fall. He finds it hard to break through and attains the potency level of 3 stars. Xian understands that he must develop. Priscilla enters the training ground and says that she has heard that Xian has defeated the Phantom Legion this time. What brings you here, Priscilla? Xian asks. Priscilla replies that she would like to aid Sir Xian in his endeavors. Xian asks Priscilla how she is going to help with her magic skills, which can't even handle assassins, let alone a low-class demon. Do you perhaps have wonderful information-gathering skills? If it's neither, do you have the authority to mobilize your entire family or the magic tower? Xian questions and tells Priscilla that he doesn't mind her roaming around his palace, however. If she desires anything more than that, then Priscilla must prove herself worthy of it. Priscilla says that she understands and leaves the training ground. Prince thinks that this should be enough incitement for her. According to Xian, if Priscilla doesn't want to become the Princess of Misfortune like she did in the novel, she'll have to put in bone-shattering effort. Thierry Ilonès, leader of the Eternal Shadows, tells Xian that the cross-verification that Xian ordered is done. Additionally, she says that it seems that a coronation ceremony to officially acknowledge your status as the successor will be held soon. But in the process of preparing for that ceremony, they've detected movements from Third Prince Enoch and Regan Ursula's side. Are they finally on the move? Xian wonders. Xian says that he would go to the Imperial Palace alone. But before that, he asks Thierry whether the things that he ordered are ready. Thierry replies that everything's ready, but she asks, will everything really go as per Prince Xion's plan? Of course, it's my master who devised it. Has master ever been wrong before? Lucina speaks up as she suddenly appears. She asks Xion whether she can come with him. Xion says that he doesn't want Lucina to go and tells her that the things that Lucina always looks for won't happen this time. Xion pats Lucina's head and tells Lucina that there's something he must do by staying here, so he tells her to wait a little longer and leaves. In the Imperial Palace, many guests and all the nobles have gathered. Prince Enoch and Regan look at each other as they think that all the preparations are planned perfectly. Everyone is waiting for the main character, Prince Xion Agnes of this coronation. But he is a bit late. They gossip how Xion subjugated the Phantom Legion. One person says, who would have thought that the imprisoned Prince Xion would subjugate a catastrophe of such difficulty? They assume that the Emperor might have known about Xion's potential from the very beginning, which is why the Imperial Emperor chose Xion as his successor. While some people think that Princess Evelyn might have orchestrated everything as the Ashen Division, and also the Ghost King Liam Raynor was present. As they were gossiping, suddenly an announcement is made that His Highness the Imperial Prince Xion Agnes has arrived. Xion enters and sits on a chair beside Princess Diana. Diana tells Xion that it's her first time meeting Xion after the throne room. She congrats Xion for subjugating the Phantom Legion. However, she says that if Xion keeps giving off such intimidating vibes, no one here is going to dare approach him. Why would I want to attract these people? I don't think they'll be very useful, Xion answers. The event manager announces that Prince Xion's succession ceremony shall commence. He requests Prince Xion to take the stage. The person reads that, the great Agnes Empire that has persisted for 400 years from the first emperor, His Majesty Aurelian. Regan intervenes and attracts everyone's attention and says that first, he would like to extend his congratulations for the achievements of this coronation's main character, His Highness Prince Xion, on his subjugating of the Phantom Legion. The manager tries to stop Regan by telling Sir Regan that wait for the ceremony to finish, but Regan doesn't listen to him. Regan says that up until recently, no one would have thought that His Highness would be able to tackle one of the catastrophes and was called the imprisoned prince became a public laughingstock. Up until a few months ago, His Highness Prince Xion became a completely different man. Regan accuses Xion by saying that Prince Xion passed the succession ceremony with confidence and even tackled a disaster. But just how could His Highness have changed so much within such a short period of time? Regan questions. Additionally, Regan adds that even if Prince Xion gained some strength due to his Agnes blood awakening, it is impossible to acquire such power in such a short period of time. Lastly, Regan concludes that Prince Xion is possessing a realm of strength that cannot be achieved through conventional means. Are you implying that Xion has learnt some corrupt power? Sir Regan? Enoch questions. Regan replies, yes, sir. Xion Agnes must have signed a contract with a demon to learn dark magic. One of the people tells Regan to elaborate what he is trying to say. Regan explains that there are two places related to Lord Xion where demonic power has been detected. One is where he stays, the Pointer Star Palace. The other is the Palace of Qualification, where the succession ceremony took place. A normal person never even makes any contact with demonic power their entire life. Yet, it was detected twice around Lord Xion. Regan concludes that Lord Xion is already exhibiting symptoms that are a result of borrowing a demon's power. Is that true? How? Did Lord Xion really borrow powers from the demons? The people question as they get confused. Dark magic is forbidden throughout the Empire. Additionally, Regan says that someone of the royal lineage learning it will only ruin this empire's reputation. Can we continue with the ceremony when there may be a chance that my suspicions are right? Regan questions as he already called some priests from the church. Who are they? The people wonder. Regan explains that these people are high priests of the church that serve the light, who will check if Lord Xion has really learned dark magic. Reagan reassures the people in the meeting not to be surprised by saying that the magicians behind them have only been stationed for their own safety. Reagan thinks that this is his perfect victory against Lord Zeon, because his evidence is concrete and everyone here will bear witness. Reagan then tells the priests to start checking Zeon. Reagan thinks that restraining a member of the royalty in public is a crime that would usually get him killed. But it doesn't matter, as long as he can prove that Zeon learned dark magic. O light of the divine who sees all throughout this world, the priests recite as they create a magic circle surrounding Zeon. The priests use the holy spell, Arbat Dior, which discharges evil power, and if the spell is cast on a person who has made a contract with a demon, the light will disappear and the evil power will appear around Lord Zeon. Enoch smirks as he thinks that Zeon is really done for this time. Reagan orders the magicians to be prepared because Prince Zeon might go crazy if the evil power takes over. "Yes, sir," the magicians reply. Reagan is eagerly waiting for Zeon to show his true form. The light shines even brightly and then disappears, and Reagan orders the magicians to restrain Prince Zeon, but in the next moment Reagan gets extremely shocked as he sees Zeon completely fine without any evil aura whatsoever. "Why's there no evil power?" Reagan asks. "So I guess it didn't go as you planned, Sir Reagan?" Zeon questions. Reagan realizes that he was played by Zeon. Zeon didn't try to stop Reagan because of this specific moment. The tide of the battle has now changed, and the one who tried to restrain Zeon is being restrained himself. "Get them!" Zeon orders his escorts to capture Reagan by putting shackles in his hands. Then Reagan was taken to the prison. Diana conceives that Zeon made a trap using his opponent's plan and totally tricked Reagan. Princess Diana perceives that the reason why Reagan was suspicious of Zeon is because Zeon has become a completely different person, which is quite understandable. Zeon asks the person in charge to continue the ceremony. The person says that as Emperor Erdia's substitute, he grants Zeon Agnes the right to succession. Enoch's right hand shakes as he gets completely dumbfounded. Prince Zeon steps out of the stage and leaves the Empire Palace. As he is about to enter the Pointer Palace, he gets greeted by Lyoshina. "Are you back, Master?" Lyoshina asks as she runs towards Zeon. Zeon tells Lyoshina that he has something for her and shows her a map. Lyoshina asks, "What's this for?" Zeon replies that it is a map with the Blood Tower's location. Zeon thinks that the location of the Blood Tower, where blood magicians gather, is a secret, but the Eternal Shadows helped him to find it. Zeon tells Lyoshina that he wants her to go there. "Me? Why?" Lyoshina asks as she is unaware. Zeon smiles while telling Lyoshina to take over the Blood Tower. In the next scene, Reagan is in prison, thinking that Prince Zeon has completely defeated him. How on earth was he able to hide it? Reagan wonders, as he was sure that Zeon definitely contracted the demons because there were clear signs. "But how did this happen?" Reagan shouts. He now regards himself as pathetic because he will be punished for insulting and hurting a royal, an attempted assassination of a royal, and maybe even treason. He then thinks that if the third prince, Enoch, used his power, maybe his life would be spared. At that moment, Enoch enters the prison while saying that it's heartbreaking to see Reagan in such a pity state. "Prince Enoch!" Reagan shouts. Enoch says that if only he had known that Reagan would insult and attempt to assassinate a royal, then he would have cut off Reagan's head himself. After hearing this, Reagan gets confused because he thought that Enoch was on his side. Enoch blames Reagan by saying that everything which happened is Reagan's own doing, and it has nothing to do with Enoch. "Do you get it?" "Reagan?" Enoch questions as he leaves the prison. After that, Reagan loses his only hope of survival. He never expected that after working for the third prince for so long, he would thrown away like this. At the palace's underground chamber, Enoch kills some of the people who might be a threat to him in the near future. He realizes that there are so many people that he needs to keep in check, and his top priority will be Xeon Agnes. Should I look for advice? Enoch questions himself. In the next scene, another two of the demons is seen. The male demon notices that his comrade Cainless's traces has completely vanished along with the Phantom Legion. The female replies saying yes, and it was done by that guy named Xeon Agnes. She wonders how on earth Xeon found out something that's a top secret even among the demons. The male demon thinks that from all intelligence groups of the Empire, even the highest power can't stop them because they don't know who they are, but in the contrary, he realizes that Xeon goes beyond normal, as he is actually hunting them as if Xeon knew about what will happen in advance. The female demon AKs whether Xeon has something like their future sight. The male demon replies that having future sight like them doesn't mean that someone will know everything. Wait. Then what if everything we know about the prince is false? The lady demon questions. The male demon says that they need to figure out what to do with Xeon in the future, and the same goes for the hero's party. The female demon remembers that regarding Xeon Agnes, there's an information that he would visit the University of Magic Tower. Her comrade replies that he has heard that too, but he couldn't fathom the reason behind it. Isn't Hiduk there? There is no way he would be caught. Right? The female demon questions. The male demon replies that it should be fine, but they must be on alert. In the next scene, Xeon arrives at the University of Magic Tower, and a person named Claude Lindell greets Xeon and welcomes him for his visit. Claude introduces himself and says that he teaches Frost variant magic here. Priscilla is also inside the Magic Tower. She is thinking how she can find a quicker way to increase her skills in a short time, and at that moment, she hears some voices of some people. Who is that? Who has a professor to meet you? Is it someone from the Imperial City? The people question. After hearing this, Priscilla goes near the window to see who is the person that came from the Imperial Palace. She gets surprised to see that it's Xeon Agnes. Claude informs Xeon that currently the Magic Tower Master is not here, so Claude tries to offer Xeon a guest room where he can stay until the Master arrives, but Xeon replies that he wants to look around the Magic Tower in the meantime. The reason why Xeon has come to the Magic Tower is because he knows that something is going to happen. Xeon thinks that the story of the warrior and his party that's written in the Chronicle. One of the important points of the tale will happen here tonight at the Imperial University Magic Tower. It's not on the same scale of a whole city, like the case with Raindra Near, or a village, like with the Phantom Legion, but the thing that's going to happen will make a big difference in the future. Is it possible for me to attend a lecture? Xeon questions. Claude replies by saying yes, but at the same time he thinks that Xeon won't be able to understand a single thing in the lecture. Xeon enters the lecture room and finds someone he was looking for. Tyron Vlihalden, or can also be called Heinrich Whisperer. Breaking all the limitations of the already existing magic system up to rank 9, he's the first great mage to reach rank 10. Of all the mages that have ever existed, he's known to be the closest to the truth, a legendary figure who is said to know of all the secrets of the world and even the abyss's end. If one had to choose the strongest mage in the Empire's history, he would be mentioned. That's this person's past life also. The mage will become one of the hero's companions in the future, Xeon concludes. Xeon thinks of Tyron as a sloth, because that's Tyron's nature gained with this rebirth. For someone who's been carrying the memories of his past self with him since birth, his magical prowess is ridiculous. This will naturally be resolved by joining the hero's party, however. The problem is the incident that takes place tonight at the Magic Tower. The meeting between Tyron and the hero will be pushed back even further. Tyrant was the last to join the group. At that time, the war against the demons had already begun. Before he could match up with his party, he'll be off on a wild chase. He will become one of the reasons for the hero's failure to kill the Demon King, and if the hero's party fails, the Empire will also perish. Zeon thinks that there are two main things that can prevent the destruction of the Empire, or to be more specific, the world. The first is ruling the entire Empire and preventing the division. The other one is changing the tale of the hero and his party. Zeon thinks that the novel Chronicles of the Hero of Frozimar ends in a failure, so this time, Zeon has to change the ending from the beginning. Zeon attends the lecture. The lecturer gives lecture to his student regarding gravity-based magic. Then, do any of you students wish to share your thoughts on this? The professor questions. A student named Essen raises his hand. Firstly, Essen asks for the professor's permission to speak. He says that if other people can speak too, then he'd like to hear what His Highness Prince Zion, who is currently attending the class, has to say. He shares that he heard that the Imperial family of Agnes receives extensive education from a young age, and thanks to the special powers that they possess since birth, they show exceptional abilities in any field. Additionally, Essien says that if that's the case, Prince Zeon must have a basic understanding of magic. Then he must have understood the formula written on the blackboard. Perhaps he may be able to offer a fresh take regardless of his level of expertise in magic. After all, the man sitting in the lecture is a prince of the great Agnes Empire. Lastly, Essien adds that since it's a hopeless problem, anyway, listening to several different perspectives will be worthwhile. This boy, Essien, is a Priscilla lover, although it's one-sided. How dare the worthless prince show his face here after canceling his engagement with Priscilla, Essien thinks. He thinks that even if Zeon accepts, he won't be able to answer, and if Zeon doesn't accept, he'll lose face in front of everyone. The lecturer tries to intervene by saying that, up until now, there has never been a case where an observer has been questioned directly about the contents of a lecture, so he tells them that they can address the question later, but at that moment, Zeon gets up from the chair. He says that he would gladly oblige as someone wants to hear his thoughts so badly. Zeon then starts to write a magic formula that no one has ever seen, which astonishes Tyran. The formula that Zeon is showing now is the relationship between spatial distortion and time in gravity-based magic. Involving all three concepts of gravity, space, and time, it is a theory that cannot be properly defined with their current level of magic. According to the Chronicles, just before the war against the demons broke out, the perfect answer to this formula appeared. Even though it's the Chronicles, it is very rare to find a description of a formula like this. But still, Zeon thinks that Tyran must be interested in this. After all, the person who created this formula is none other than future Tyran. He has been endlessly studying it since his previous life. The only lingering attachment he has yet to let go of is the magic related to space and time. In the future, after Tyrant meets the hero, this formula will become the starting point that will ultimately result in a satisfactory ending. After finishing the formula, Zeon hopes that Tyran will awaken a bit sooner after seeing this. The lecturer thinks that he must write this formula down because he has never seen such a formula until now. "Bring me a pen and paper," he shouts desperately. Priscilla thinks that it's expected from Zeon, who is truly a man of limitless ability, but due to this, Priscilla feels like she absolutely can't stand beside Zeon as an equal. Zeon climbs up the steps and goes near Essien. Essien thinks that he had definitely heard that Zeon has never learned magic at all. Zeon tells Essien that he dislikes being tested. Essien gets terrified and falls to the ground. After that, Zeon leaves the lecture room to meet the Tower Master. Zeon has successfully grabbed Tyran's attention. Zeon thinks that the second reason why he came to meet the Imperial Magic Tower University's master may be even more important than meeting Tyran. After waiting for some time, the Tower Master arrives and apologizes to Prince Zeon for his late arrival. Zeon introduces Ahmad Ozlima, the Tower Master of the Agnes Empire's Magic Tower University, who is an archmage and who was also able to glimpse the secrets of the world, the endless seeker of truth, the White Flame Emperor, etc. The holder of various such titles, he is one of the strongest people in the Chronicles. Ahmad Ozlima explains that he was late because he was reading the formula Zeon wrote on the way here. He praises Zeon by saying that it was an answer that even he could learn a thing or two from. "Where were you?" Zeon questions. Ahmad replies that he had to address a minor family which he considers as a small problem, so he tells Zeon not to worry about it. Zeon shares that Ozlima is a prestigious family with a long lineage of magicians, a family that boasts their power among the top 5 families in the empire, and the maternal lineage of the 3rd prince, Enoch. Zeon conceives that Ahmad will certainly never exploit his power for his family or Enoch, because he's someone who's sick and tired of his family and power struggles. Zeon remembers that Ahmad announced his disassociation from his family 20 years ago and stopped all external activities since then. He became a professor and devoted himself to training younger students. Perhaps his purpose behind visiting his family this time was breaking off his family's attempts to appease him, Zeon concludes. Then, "Shall we get straight to the point?" Zeon questions. Ahmad replies that there's something that he would like to ask Zeon. "Your Highness, do you believe that the essence of a person exists?" Ahmad asks. Zeon didn't answer that. Ahmad says that he believes it exists. In fact, after glimpsing the secrets of the world, he believes he has glimpsed a fragment of a person's essence as well. He says that he has met Zeon in the past, unlike the other princes and princesses, because the essence was so clear, he couldn't forget it at all. Additionally, Ahmad speaks that a person's essence is unchangeable, much like fate. And if that essence changes, they can no longer see them as the same person anymore. So, he asks Zeon who he really is? Zeon replies that the essence of a person is not important right now. What's more important is the fact that the person before him is called Zeon Agnes of the Agnes Empire, who has survived in the Imperial Palace until now. Don't tell me. Is his essence really the only thing that has changed in order to survive at the Imperial Palace? Did the blood of Agnes in him awaken late? If it was enough to even change his essence in order to survive, just what kind of hellish things are happening in the palace, the Tower Master wonders. Ahmad understands his mistake and apologizes to Zeon for saying something like that. Then he asks Zeon why he came here. Zeon explains that there are 3 things. Firstly, he wants the whereabouts of the strange doctor, along with a point of contact. Secondly, he wants to improve a magic circle. And lastly, he just needs Ahmad's help once. Zeon introduces the person regarded as Strange Doctor. He's a doctor who was considered one of the top 3 in Chronicles, but his behavior is so eccentric and free-spirited that it earned him the nickname Strange Doctor. His location is always hidden and ever-changing. There's no way to meet him without the help of one of his acquaintances, and Ahmad happens to be one of the few close friends of the Strange Doctor. Ahmad replies that he may consider it if Zeon tells the reason behind him wanting to meet the Strange Doctor and the Magic Circle. However, Ahmad says that it'll be impossible for him to help Prince Zeon directly because he has solely devoted himself to this Magic Tower University. Ahmad explains that if he, who doesn't answer to his family or the Imperial Palace anymore, helps Zeon, then he will be breaking his pledge. Zeon asks Ahmad, what if the task he needs help with isn't related to the Imperial Palace, but the Magic Tower University? What do you mean by that? Ahmad questions. Zeon replies that it also has to do with the magic that Ahmad needs to improve. In the next scene, Professor Plaud asks Tyron to meet him. Should I just return? Tyran thinks, but then he decides that since it's related to an important aspect of his studies at the Magic Tower University, he might as well go. Tyran tells himself that he needs to review the formula that Prince Zeon wrote, but it will be impossible to do that without a complete understanding of the formula. Tyran thinks that it didn't seem like Prince Zeon was well-versed in magic, although thanks to Lord Zeon, Tyrant was able to glimpse a way forward. As he is entering a class, Tyran gets shocked to see the flow of demonic energy. Is it demonic energy or black energy? He wonders. Then he figures out that the one who called him here is certainly Professor Plod. Tyran, what in the world are you doing here? Professor Plod questions as he pretends not to know anything. Professor Plod, along with all the other professors, enters the room and sees dark energy around Tyran's hands. What is this? They all wonder. The person who was giving the lecture previously also suspected Tyran for killing the other students using demonic energy. Tyran realizes that he has already set foot on a trap led by Professor Plod. He finds himself in a troublesome situation where if he gets caught, he will be framed and named as a criminal who slaughtered his own classmates. He perceives that it's clear that Professor Plod is the real culprit, but there's no prop, so Tyran has no choice but to escape from here first. All the professors promise Tyran that they would not use force on him if he surrenders obediently. In the meantime, Plod smirks as he thinks that his plan is an epitome of perfection. Previously, Plod called some of the students, and Essien was among them. Essien asked the professor why he has called them, and why is it so important. Plod walked near Essien and said that it's something more important than educational matter. More important? Essien repeated. Plod said that today's the time for Essien to be finally useful. Essien screamed in pain as Plod already pierced Essien's body by transforming his hand into a blade. Ah! Spare us! Ah! The students screamed as they got killed one by one. Presently, Plod is thinking that from the very beginning, this was a trap set for Tyran Vlehalden. Plod could have easily killed Tyran by calling him alone, but he couldn't because the higher-ups doesn't want that. At that moment, Zeon enters the classroom. Plod thinks that they must be cautious because Zeon is hunting the demons, who are hiding among humans. Plod then thinks that it's good Zeon is here. Plod perceives that if Prince Zeon is really going around hunting monsters and demons, then cornering Tyran would be more easier by framing him as a demon, and if this goes well, Plod might not need to dirty his hand. So, Plod starts his seemingly ingenious plan. He tells Zeon that it's dangerous for him to go near because Tyran is the culprit. Zeon replies saying yes, the culprit has to be dealt with. Plod smiles as he thinks that everything is going as planned, but at that moment, Zeon slashes Plod's throat with his hand and takes out Aclaxia. Your Royal Highness Prince Zeon. What on earth is going on? The lecturer questions. Everybody gets confused by Zeon's actions. Zeon replies that he has found the culprit. Zeon thinks that Aclaxia imbued with the power of Black Star Fall is working well. Zeon says that no matter how high level the demon is with his Black Star, there is no way the demon can withstand it when it's working from the inside out. After some time, the demon named Hiduk comes out of the vessel. The bloodline of the Agnes is cursed. Now that things have come to this, I can kill you all, Hiduk shouts in anger. All the other professors get horrified as they feel the immense pressure Hiduk is emitting. The demon slides backwards as he intends to make a good distance between him and his opponent. Zeon starts to use the ace up his sleeve, Lunar Eclipse, from the very beginning. Hiduk rushes towards Zeon with a straight punch. Zeon uses Lunar Eclipse along with a new attack named Black Island to slash the demon's body. Hiduk finds it hard to match Zeon. Hiduk tries to speed up while changing the direction of his attack, and as he is about to land the second punch, Zeon notices Hiduk's fist and uses Lunar Eclipse's black spot on it, which makes a huge commotion. Tyron and the other professors are using high defense barrier magic to withstand Zeon's attack. Tyron feels that he doesn't even qualify to give assistance in such a fierce battle, which is clearly out of his league. Tyron thinks that although the ominous darkness is troublesome, the power gap is too large. Hiduk says that he would win. "Your true opponent isn't me. What in the world is this?" Ahmad Ozlima questions. Zeon thinks that a term used to refer to the strongest beings in the world. Excluding the demons is the seven heavens. Among them, a magician who possesses enough power to annihilate an entire city alone gained the title of Mage of Destruction, and that was Ahmad Ozlima, the White Flame Emperor, the fifth heaven. "You're prepared to pay for your sins, right?" Ozlima asks angrily. "Ah!" Hiduk screams while burning because of Zeon's blue flame. Zeon recognizes Hiduk as a powerful entity, who is still able to maintain his existence till now inside that fire. In fact, if an ordinary person were to touch this fire, their entire body would be incinerated. The Tower Master asks Hiduk how dare he commit such a deed inside his magic tower while getting closer to the demon. Hiduk rushes forward and tries to attack Ozlima. "Did you think you'd be able to reach me?" the Tower Master asks, while lifting only his index finger. Hiduk's physical body gets incinerated and his soul tries to escape, but at the right time, Zeon uses his dark vision to locate the soul. Upon finding the soul, he pierces it with Eclaxia. Hiduk dies while cursing Zeon and the family of Agnes. After killing the demon, Zeon stares at Tyran as he thinks that, with this, Tyran won't have to delay his meeting with the hero. Zeon can't find out how it may vary the course of the future, but at least Tyran won't be framed as the culprit and be taken away. Moreover, according to Zeon, Tyran must have figured that the demons are targeting him, so he won't keep being as lazy as he's been until now. "Are you all unharmed?" the Tower Master asks. The professors reply saying yes, but they all seem confused as they couldn't fathom what in the world just happened right now. Ozlima tells them to keep this incident as a secret for the time being, and he promises to bear all the responsibilities regarding this matter. He then tells Tyron that he must be exhausted after what happened. So, he may leave and rest for now, and he will be summoned tomorrow to discuss the details. Tyron says that he understands and leaves. After everyone's departure, the Tower Master tells Zeon that, it seems, they need to continue their conversation from earlier. Zeon replies that he'd also like that. At the chamber of the Tower Master, he asks, "Whether is it true that the demons are hiding? Then what should I do?" he questions. Zeon replies that he can just do the 3 things which he was asked earlier. Zeon perceives that having taken a magical pledge to not get involved in any matters outside the magic tower, Ahmad can't interfere in the conflicts of the Imperial Palace at all. Moreover, enhancing the color identification array is also of utmost importance. As he is about to leave, he gets called by Tyron from the back. Tyron says that there's something he'd like to ask. Zeon puts a finger near his mouth and tells Tyron not to ask because only those who are worth may ask something. Zeon hesitates to help because not only will it not help at all right now, but Tyron's development is designed in a way that his potential can only be fully realized by staying by the hero's side, so he decides not to help Tyron. Moreover, Zeon has no plans to cultivate Tyron either. It won't be too late to think about it after everyone in the hero's party complete their respective awakenings. Well, having one of them on my side isn't a bad idea after all, is it? He wonders. Tyron enters his home, and the words that Zeon said about him being worthy or not is currently roaming in his mind. He thinks that the Magic Tower Master's strength was so amazing that it engraved itself into his mind. But there is something about Prince Zeon that's beyond amazing, as Prince Zeon. He knew the exact answer to the theory that even he hadn't been able to answer yet. Zeon certainly knew from the beginning that Professor Plod was the culprit because it was an action that would be impossible without being certain that the person was both the culprit and a demon. Tyron understands that this time he was really lucky, but he won't be as lucky next time. Only those who are worthy may ask. This phrase again rings in Tyron's ears, and concludes that Zeon might be right about this. He realizes that he must get stronger, so that he doesn't lay helplessly like this if it happens again, and also so that next time he can confidently visit Prince Zeon to demand an answer. Inside the car, Zeon is feeling the after effects of using lunar eclipse last night, and he perceives that this state will likely persist for around 4 to 5 days. It has never been this severe before, but Zeon Agnes's constitution is naturally weak. Maybe if Zeon hadn't consumed the heart of the 1,000-year-old ogre, he wouldn't have been able to use lunar eclipse at all. So he decides that he must visit the strange doctor soon. For now, this is the most effective way to improve his physical condition. Moreover, he gained something from this battle too. The Black Star Fall has now been upgraded to Stage 3. Was it stimulated after I destroyed the King of the Phantom Legend and used lunar eclipse once more? Zeon wonders. Once his body recovers, he will be able to ascend to the 3rd stage. Upon reaching the Pointer Star Palace, he is received by Fredo and Thierry. Zeon asks whether all the things have been prepared. Thierry replies that the preparations are already done. At Diana Agnes's place of work, she is wondering about the black sword that Zeon used previously. She is certain that the sword was the light-extinguishing sword. That sword is known to have been used by the first emperor of the Empire, the Eternal Emperor. When she visited the underground treasury, she only saw a part of it. Who would have thought that the light-extinguishing sword would fall into Zeon's hands? What exactly happened? Diana wonders. Diana realizes the light-extinguishing sword was the one and only favorite weapon of the Eternal Emperor, the first emperor of the Agnes Empire. It holds such tremendous symbolism, and the fact that the light-extinguishing sword became Zeon's can't be overlooked just like that. She clearly understands that it's only quiet due to the fact that there are only a few people who are aware of the sword's existence and appearance, and in her opinion, if the truth gets out, the turmoil will be beyond imagination. She calls her assistant, whose name is Lloyd, and tells him increase surveillance on Zeon to the same level as the other royal family members. Lloyd replies that the orders will be taken care of as per her wishes. The National Affairs Assembly is coming soon, isn't it? Diana asks. Lloyd replies by saying yes. Agnes National Affairs Assembly is the second largest assembly held in the Empire. It's an important event where direct descendants of the Imperial family and a variety of influential figures gather and decide the Empire's future. A greatly symbolic assembly of such significance that one's attendance reflects their influence. The Agnes National Affairs Assembly is primarily run by the direct Imperial family members, and their right to speak is determined by the number of assembly members supporting them. In order for a direct Imperial family member to participate in the National Affairs Assembly, the support of at least 10 assembly members is needed, and Zeon lacks in that particular area as he has yet to gain the support of even one person. Diana speaks with absolute confidence, and certainly that they don't have to worry about that, because she is certain that Zeon won't be able to join the National Affairs Assembly. In the next scene, we see a local noble traveling in a red car. Is the time for the government conference already up? Kalan Habas asks, as he wonders what kind of offers will come up this time. He thinks that he is only here as a supporter anyways, so he just has to stay neutral this time. He concludes that it looks like the 4th prince or the 5th princess might show up with good offers this time around, and also, according to him, Prince Zeon won't be able to attend. Regardless, that's likely the extent of his influence as a royal without any substantial backing. Cologne. Habas notices that the lights are shining bright despite the hour. He says that it's just like the Empire's future that will last forever and also his own bright future. Huh? What? Where on earth are we going? Stop! Stop right there! He screams loudly as he is extremely shocked. What's this? He wonders. The sight of his car being demolished by that unknown dark aura terrifies him. What the hell is happening right now? He shouts out of fear. He then sees a man walking towards him whose identity is still unknown. He then uses a summoning-type magic to summon his backups. He says that he doesn't know the person who is attacking him, but he won't stand still after seeing all that has happened now. After the arrival of his escorts, he orders them to capture the man. Two of the soldiers rush straight at the intruder upon hearing the order from the noble, but all of them were cut down in mere seconds. The others then hesitate to fight. Kalon Habas orders them not be scared of a single individual and keep attacking. Zeon, on the contrary, is defeating every one of them with ease, as if they are some measly ants. After defeating everyone, he walks near the noble. "Who are you? Why are you doing this?" Kalon Habas asks while being extremely horrified as he crawls backwards. "What do you think is the reason for this?" Zeon questions. At that time, the noble notices that it's the imprisoned Prince Zeon of the Agnes family whom he is talking to. Zeon explains that numerous instances of bribery, illicit wealth accumulation, and even though slavery has already been abolished, not only does Kalon Habas have many slaves to satisfy his twisted hobby, he even murdered his political enemies. "How did you know all about this?" Habas asks. Zeon replies that Sir Habas doesn't have to concern himself regarding those matters, as he will be provided with a once-in-a-lifetime chance. In the next scene, a person laughs. "Do you know who I am?" he asks while laughing wholeheartedly. "Ha! Of course, aren't you the noble Bukel Izzard?" Thierry informs. Bukel Izzard says that it takes nerves to kidnap a noble person like him. Despite knowing all about it, he informs that his knights must be on the move looking for him already. It won't take more than an hour to discover this place. Thierry says that it probably won't happen, and even if it happens then, Izzard will be bound to send the knights back himself. "What the hell are you talking about?" "Why would I send them back?" Izzard asks. Thierry, while ignoring the questions, brings out a paper. First of all, Thierry says that it would be better to look at this and talk a bit, while removing the mask from Izzard's face. In the next moment, Enoch receives a news from his personal informant. She informs that it looks like Prince Zeon will be attending the conference. There should be no lawmakers backing up, right? Then how come Zeon is attending? Enoch questions. She replies that it seems that the neutral lawmakers are being recruited in the shadows. "How dare Zeon even try to attend a government conference?" he asks angrily. He thinks that among the 11 lawmakers who claim to stand neutral, it's impossible to be able to recruit 10 people so quickly. But then again, when it comes to Zeon, it cannot be quite certain yet. He perceives that these matters should be handled properly. He orders her to make sure to get the information on the neutral lawmakers. He says that he will see the report once he has returned from the underground. Enoch then opens a portal to travel to the underground. At the same time, Zeon is thinking that it's the best moment to increase the potency of the Black Star, or else it would have to be postponed until the government conference ends. If everything goes as he planned, it won't take long, as something will switch the course of events. In his opinion, if he doesn't reach 3 stars until then, his further plans won't go smoothly. He starts to manifest the Black Star's aura around him, and after some time, he focuses all of that in one point. He realizes that if he was weaker than now, he wouldn't be able to break through. Finally, he says that now, it's the last one and the last shot he needs to make. Both Fredo and Thierry look at the night sky in amusement, as if the stars are looking more beautiful than before. At the Blood Tower, Master Kerma de Choles says that If the things goes on like this, the very existence of the Blood Tower is in danger. He wonders what he should do now to make things better. He says that in such times like this, all blood mages should unite, but even in such small numbers, there is no unity. It would have been nice if there was at least one person who was like the 1,000-year-old witch now. No, he wishes that the witch came here herself instead. At that moment, he receives a news that there's an intruder who has entered the tower. What? An intruder? Kerma repeats. He then goes on the balcony to check the scenario and witness people getting tied up by blood magic. Lyushina tells Kerma that he sure took his time to show up. Are you really Lyushina Bloodwalker? He asks. Lyushina replies by saying yes indeed, who else might it be in a critical time like this? After hearing this, all the members start to shout, "Oh, see, it's the 1,000-year-old witch, the mother of beasts. It's the queen. Our queen has finally arrived." Thanks to that, now the control over the Blood Tower was easily taken over. But would it be useful taking them with me? Lyushina wonders. Lyushina explains that those who have inherited blood magic have turned so weak, so she doesn't like how this is looking. It's annoying, but there's no other way. The only way left is to simply make them stronger, and especially Kerma. The news of Hiduk being killed reaches his comrades. Was it Zeon Agnes again? The male demon asks. The girl demon explains that, to be exact, their contact with Hiduk was cut off around the same time Zeon Agnes visited the Magic Tower Imperial University. The man says that he warned Hiduk in advance, but it seems that it didn't work that much. Then he asks about the magician whom they were supposed to kill. The girl replies that Hiduk was aiming for the magician from the beginning, and that might be the reason why Zeon killed Hiduk in the first place. He says that they also managed to find out some information related to the hero through the future eyes. The girl assumes that Zeon might also have the power of the future eyes. The demon man replies that it's not possible for Zeon to possess the future eyes. But still, the girl says that who would have thought Zeon Agnes would get that strong? The male replies that he didn't expect that either. He assumes that Zeon may have received some external help. Do you mean that monster from the Magic Tower University might have stepped in? The girl questions. The demon replies that it's a matter related to the Magic Tower, so there's no way that monster doesn't know. Even so, judging by how no information has leaked out, it's highly likely that the Tower Master had something to do with it. The girl conceives that there's also a high chance of Ahmad being related to Zeon Agnes. The boy explains that's probably not the case, because the Tower Master even pledged that he won't involve himself with anything that happens outside the Magic Tower. He must have stepped in because it happened within the Magic Tower. But still, the reason this matter wasn't made public is because the Imperial Prince has a lot to do with it, because it also seems that Zeon is reluctant to reveal their existence to the world. We share something common in that sense, I'm not sure why, but we certainly need to remove him, right? The girl demon asks. The boy demon suggests that there's one way to remove Zeon without them having to step in. He says he heard that Prince Enoch is preparing to kill Zeon Agnes, and Prince Enoch seems to almost loathe Zeon. Then we can just nudge him a little. That demon is in charge of Prince Enoch, right? The girl asks. The demon boy replies that he hates that demon because he is a bit strange. Are you going to have a talk with that person? The girl questions. The male demon answers by saying sure. She notifies him that soon the hero will appear, so before that, it'd be better to erase as much of the annoying things as possible. At the National Assembly, magical powerhouse, Ozlema family's first successor, Groud Ozlema greets Count Alstein. Groud says that it seems like the Imperial family hasn't arrived yet. He assumes that it will be the same people participating again this time. He notices that Emperor Erdios and the First Prince, Rubrios's seats are vacant. He assumes that the Emperor may not participate because of his ailment, but he finds it hard to think of a reason for which the first prince won't be participating in the National Assembly. Was the rumor about the first prince obsessively devoting himself to the Order of Light and forsaking everything else true after all? Groud wonders. Groud tries to talk with his other comrades about the news that are currently circulating. He says that this time, Prince Zeon himself took care of Regan Ursula and the entire Icarus Magic Division. Isn't it amazing? He asks. Additionally, he explains himself that it's quite amazing because Prince Zeon Agnes was called the Imperial family's disgrace up until very recently. But in just a few months, he passed the succession ceremony and even subjugated the Phantom Legion, one of the 7 great calamities, and there are even more praises besides these. Moreover, he says that Zeon even dealt with the Icarus division, so Count Alstein must be pleased. Count Alstein tells Groud Oslima to stop this nonsense because it has nothing to do with them, so he says that he would appreciate it if Groud stopped talking about this. At that moment, an announcement is made. Her Highness, Princess Diana Agnes, the 5th princess, is entering, the guard declares. Upon entering, Diana notices that no one has arrived yet. They've long been engaging in a battle of ego with no benefits to see who's gonna enter last. Should I prepare a rule about that in this meeting? Diana thinks. Another announcement is made that Her Highness, Princess Evelyn Agnes, the 2nd princess, is entering. I'm not late, now am I? The 4th Prince Udican Agnes questions upon entering. The 3rd Prince Anok Agnes apologizes to everyone for being late. As expected, he has not come, Anok says about Prince Zeon. How dare he try to participate in the assembly without knowing his place? Enoch asks, while smiling wholeheartedly as he thinks that Zeon won't be able to attend the meeting. Enoch says that if he just got 2 of the 11 neutral councilmen on his side, Zune will be left with the support of only 9 councilmen and won't be able to participate in the assembly. According to Enoch, it's a simple but effective method. He thinks that with this, he has reclaimed the councilman whom Zeon had won over to, so nothing will go wrong. He is curious and eager to see the kind of face Zeon will make after a complete defeat. Princess Evelyn tries to say that they should begin the National Assembly, but gets intervened by yet another shocking announcement that shook everyone. The gate guards declare that His Highness, Prince Zeon Agnes, the 6th prince, is entering. Everyone attending the assembly gets completely baffled. Upon witnessing the charismatic way of Zeon walking towards his seat, all of his siblings had the same thought. How in the world did Zeon Agnes enter the assembly hall? They all wonder as they get puzzled. Wait, how is this person here? Just how? How did he enter the assembly room? Enoch shouts out loud in complete anger. One of the person from the magical powerhouse informs that Prince Zeon has obtained the support of at least 10 councilmen and therefore fulfilled the requirements to participate in the National Assembly. Enoch disagrees with the report and tells the boy to verify it again. The organizer replies that it's true, and in fact, it's 11 people who has signed to support Prince Zeon instead of 10. This news came as a sudden shock to Enoch, as if the ground under his feet has turned upside down. He then realizes something and turns around to see the look at the face of the people who promised to support him. Just who? Were there more neutral councilmen who I had failed to notice? Moreover, it's not 10, but 11 councilmen? What strings did Zeon pull this time? He wonders aimlessly as he can't find any conclusion. Zeon says that he has something to ask. Why did you assume I'd only garner support from the neutral ones? He asks, while smiling. Moreover, he tells Enoch that he should have worried about his own supporting people first. Enoch then notices that the so-called trusted people of his are now hiding their eyes from Enoch. The look on Enoch's completely defeated and furious face is a scene that is worthwhile to notice. Zeon declares that the time has come to begin the assembly. Princess Evelyn speaks up. She states the list and the items that were presented in the last assembly's agenda. Groud notices that Zeon Agnes isn't the same as before, as if he has become a different person. He says that now he understands why Regan claimed that Zeon practiced dark magic. Is that why Icarus was defeated, he wonders. Zeon feels that this may be troublesome as he sees a lot of familiar faces. Among them, about half of them, can be categorized into those whom he must kill and those whom he must save. Those who will be of help on the path he is about to walk, and those who won't. Those who are related to the demons, and those who are demons themselves. He decides that first and foremost, he must get rid of the easiest target. Evelyn announces that they'll conclude the agenda from the previous assembly and proceed with the review of the new agenda. Firstly, she says that they should review the agenda proposed by Utica Agnes regarding the increase of the military budget, and along the way in their conversation, Princess Diana and Prince Enoch share their thoughts regarding military budget. Diana feels strange because it's too quiet, and the assembly practically ends once the submissions and reviews are over. So, according to her, Zeon must have participated in the National Assembly because he wanted something, but he didn't even submit an agenda beforehand. That's what confuses Diana the most. Evelyn declares that the agendas are now complete, so they must conclude. Zeon intervenes and says that he wants to propose an agenda as well. Right here and now? What might it be? Evelyn asks. Zeon suggests that they must push the parade forward. By the parade, do you mean the Imperial family parade? Princess Evelyn questions. The routine parade of the Agnes Imperial family, an event where the Imperial family, accompanied by their forces, like the Night Orders, parade before the citizens outside the Imperial city. While demonstrating the Imperial family's splendor to the citizens, it also announces the Agnes family's well-being. It is also used to announce that a direct descendant of the royal family has had their right to ascend to the throne recognized in order to gain the citizens' acknowledgement. It was a significant event, but it wasn't seen as anything exceptionally important. Moreover, in order to conduct the parade, one must basically have full control of their force. But Zion lacks such a force, and even if it's postponed, it may not be of any help to him. Why would he want to advance the routine parade all of a sudden? Is he being serious now? Evelyn thinks. Zeon replies by saying yes, and he believes that a week will suffice. Utica happily agrees. Diana states that she is against it. She explains that if they suddenly push forward the Imperial family parade, it will disrupt the existing schedule. The main reason why Diana is against it is because she thinks that Zeon couldn't have proposed an idea without a plan. She thinks that she must be careful until she figures out what Zeon is planning. Evelyn then asks Enoch about his opinion. Enoch replies by saying yes. Enoch thinks that Zeon is trying to make an opportunity for himself, and because Enoch was going to propose it anyway, he thinks that Zeon must be planning something again, but it doesn't matter, because this time, no matter what it takes, Enoch makes an oath that he is going to destroy Zeon. After the Nation Assembly, Evelyn talks with Zeon that she thought Zeon wouldn't even pass the succession ceremony, but it seems like her judgment regarding Zeon was wrong. She remembers a past incident when Karen said that Prince Zeon's skill are increasing at a monstrous rate. It seems now that the things Karen said back then wasn't a lie. You wouldn't have summoned me just to say that. What do you want to tell me? Zeon questions. Evelyn says that she summoned Zeon because she has something to ask. She says that she wants to know the reason why Zeon made such a proposal during the National Assembly. Zeon asks whether she is referring about pushing the parade forward. As far as I know, apart from a few knights guarding the Pointer Star Palace, you don't have any forces. Why did you push the parade forward? Evelyn asks. Zeon replies that he did that because that way he can draw them in. Evelyn says that she doesn't understand anything Zeon is talking about, but she asks whether Zeon needs any knights for the parade. Zeon replies that it won't be necessary. Instead, there is something that he needs to tell her. What is Zeon planning this time? I don't get why he made such a suggestion at the National Assembly, Diana thinks. She hadn't even detected any kind of movements from Zeon up until now. Is Zeon really planning to participate in the parade alone? She wonders. At that moment, she is informed that she has a guest. A guest? Who is it? Diana questions. The knight says that it is Prince Zeon Agnes. Diana gets surprised as she quickly orders the knight to escort Zeon inside. Diana says that it's been quite some time since the two of them met by themselves like this. She suggests that as they aren't close enough for idle chit-chat, so they must cut to the chase. What brings you here? She asks. Zeon says that he is going to fight the third prince. What did you say? You're going to fight the third prince? The third prince, Enoch? You must realize that it sounds ridiculous, right? Diana asks. Zeon says that he is going to make it make sense, and in order to do that, he tells Diana that he wants to borrow her power until he strikes Enoch. After hearing this, Diana laughs loudly. She says that if it is a joke, then it is a funny one. My dear little brother, why should I risk a full-scale war with a royal family member and lend my forces to my little brother who lacks any significant power? If I lend you my power, what do I gain? And in the first place, why did you think I would lend you my power? Diana questions constantly. She says that for someone to suggest such a thing, the two parties involved have to be on equal footing. You surely don't believe that we're on the same level. Do you? Diana asks while releasing her aura to intimidate Zeon. Zeon also starts to release his aura. He says that there is something that he would like to ask. Who gets to decide that level? He asks while releasing his tremendous dark aura, which shakes up the room. Diana realizes that it's neither magic, martial arts, or even the celestial star sea. It's similar to the celestial star sea, but it's something even darker than that. Am I the one getting afraid? She wonders while being terrified.